Assalamu alaikum. My name is Alina. The today topic of my practical presentation is testing method of ethyl, methyl, and isopropyl alcohol. First of all, we discuss about the introduction of the practical alcohols such as ethyl alcohol, methyl alcohol, and isopropyl alcohol are widely used in industrial, pharmaceutical, and laboratory testing. Due to their chemical similarities but varied toxicity and application, accurate testing and identification of these alcohols is essential. Purpose of testing: ensure purity and quality control in production, distinguish between alcohol types, especially to prevent toxic exposures, e.g., methanol poisoning, meet regulatory standards in pharmaceutical, cosmetic, and fuels, detect adulteration in alcoholic beverage or sanitizers. Physical property testing. Boiling point measurement. Each alcohol has a distinct boiling point: ethanol 78.3 degrees Celsius, methanol 64.7 degrees Celsius, isopropanol 82.5 degrees Celsius. Refractive index and density testing. These help differentiate alcohol based on physical constants. Chemical testing, Lucas test. For alcohol classification, distinguish primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols. Isopropyl give a positive result quickly. Ethanol and methanol react slowly or not at all. Iodoform test, positive for ethanol or isopropanol, forms yellow precipitate, negative for methanol. Oxidation test, methanol and ethanol oxidize to formaldehyde and acetaldehyde respectively, can be detected by smell or chromic acid test. Isopropanol oxidized to acetone. उसके बाद आएगा इंस्ट्रूमेंटल मेथड्स. गैस क्रोमेटोग्राफी separate and identifies alcohol types in mixtures, very accurate for detecting trace levels. Infrared spectroscopy identifies functional groups like OH, CH3, etc. Each alcohol shows a distinct spectrum. UV visible spectroscopy, not very useful directly for alcohols but may help in oxidation product analysis. Nuclear magnetic resonance NMR spectroscopy differentiates between on hydrogen environments, highly accurate for structural determination. Fourth number, टॉक्सिसिटी एंड अडल्ट्रेशन टेस्ट, क्रोमिक एसिड टेस्ट, इसको जॉन्स टेस्ट भी कहते हैं. मेथनॉल एंड एथेनॉल shows a color range from orange to green, useful in screening for methanol contamination. Qualitative paper strip test used in field kits for quick methanol detection in beverages. Chemical properties basis for testing. Each of the alcohols share a OH functional group, but differences in their carbon chains affect boiling point, polarity, and chemical reactivity. Testing method rely on oxidation behavior, volatility, infrared absorption, refractive index, density, refractivity with specific reagents. Common testing methods and their chemistry. First of all, chromatographic methods. Gas chromatography principle based on volatility and polarity. Each alcohol evaluates a different retention time. Chemistry, no chemical reaction needed. Separation depends on molecular weight and boiling point. अच्छा, इसमें सबसे पहले मेथनॉल सेपरेट होगा, फिर एथेनॉल और उसके बाद आइसोप्रोपेनॉल. नो इन रिटेंशन टाइम. डिटेक्शन, फ्लेम आयनाइजेशन डिटेक्टर, कंबस्ट सैंपल एंड मेयर आयंस. उसके बाद कोलोरीमेट्रिक टेस्ट. इसमें सबसे पहले आएगा आइडोफोम टेस्ट, पॉजिटिव फॉर एथेनॉल आइसोप्रोपेनॉल, negative for methanol. Chemistry, ethanol and isopropanol are oxidized to compounds with methyl ketone structure. In the presence of iodine and NaOH, yellow iodoform CHI3 precipitates. Reaction, CH3CHOH CH3 COH CHI3 yellow precipitate plus others. Number 2, Schiff's test for aldehyde detection after oxidation, used after oxidation alcohol with mild oxidizers, e.g., CrO3, detects the aldehyde, ethanol, and acetaldehyde. See oxidation test, potassium dichromate test. Chemistry, alcohol is oxidized, Cr6 plus orange reduces to Cr3 plus green. Positive for all three alcohols. Methanol oxidized to formaldehyde, ethanol to acetaldehyde, and isopropanol to acetone. The infrared spectroscopy chemistry, each alcohol has characteristic OS stretching ranges from 3200 to 36 per centimeter. Other peaks, methanol simple CH and OH, ethanol CH3 and OH groups, isopropanol additional branching and CH3 bending around 1375 per centimeter. Refractive index and density, principle based on molecular structure and polarizability, measured physically but interpreted using molecular structure. Alcohol refractive index and density. Methanol 1.328 or density scale 0.791. Ethanol 1.361 density 0.789. Isopropanol refractive index 1.377 density 0.786. Again, NMR spectroscopy. Chemistry depends on hydrogen and carbon environments. Each alcohol gives unique chemical shift and splitting pattern due to different OH and alkyl groups. Titration method, acid base or redox, sometimes used to determine alcohol content via esterification or oxidation. Oxidation titration. Alcohol is oxidized with KMnO4 or dichromate. Back titration measures unreacted oxidizers. Here are some test methods, their chemistry principle and detective detectors or differentiates, which I tell you above. Next, identification test. A smell test. Ethanol mild sweet odor, methanol slightly sweeter and more pungent. Isopropanol strong rubbing alcohol smell, not safe or reliable, only use informally, avoid inhalation. Second, chemical test. Iodoform test. Reagent iodine plus sodium hydroxide. Procedure: add 2 ml of alcohol to a test tube, add iodine solution and sodium hydroxide dropwise. Warm gently. Observation: ethanol and isopropanol yellow precipitate of iodoform. Methanol no precipitate. B. Lucas test for differentiating alcohols. Reagent concentrated HCl plus ZnCl2. Procedure: mix 1 ml of alcohol with 2 ml Lucas reagent, shake and observe. Observation: isopropyl alcohol turbidity within 5 minutes, ethanol turbidity after a long time, ethanol no visible changes. Flame test: ethanol burns with a blue non-smoky flame, methanol burns with a pale blue invisible flame, isopropanol burns with a slightly yellow flame. Perform in a fume hood. Toxic vapors. For gas chromatography, quantitative analysis, purpose, concentration, and purity. Procedure: pre-standard solution of each alcohol, inject sample into GC instrument, compare retention time and peak areas. Output: accurate percentage of each alcohol present. IR spectroscopy or FTIR. Procedure: place 1 to 2 drops of alcohol on salt plate, scan using FTIR. Results: ethanol or methanol and IPA show distinct OH and CH stretches, helpful for fingerprint region identification. 6.1 specific gravity test tool. A digital density meter. Reference ranges: ethanol 0.786 gram per centimeter cubic, methanol 0.791 gram per centimeter cubic, IPA 0.786 gram per centimeter cubic. Use purity check by comparing actual West standard values. Boiling point measurement. Use a simple distillation setup. Boiling points: methanol 64.7 degrees Celsius, ethanol 78.4 degrees Celsius, आइसोप्रोपानोल 82.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस। अब ये नीचे बता रहे हैं कि अल्कोहल है और ये किस किस टेस्ट में रिएक्शन परफॉर्म करते हैं, कौन कौन से कलर शो करते हैं और इनकी बॉइलिंग पॉइंट क्या है। एप्लीकेशंस, इसकी वेरियस एप्लीकेशंस है, लाइक इसकी एप्लीकेशन हैंड सैनिटाइजर्स में, फार्माक्यूटिकल, इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोसेसेस, फूड एंड बेवरेजेस, फोरेंसिक एनालिसिस। देन वी मूव टुवर्ड फ्यूचर रिकमेंडेशंस. मेथनॉल डिटेक्शन इज paramount. Rigorous testing protocols, validity laboratory procedures, employer awareness, USP standards, beyond USP, supply chain integrity, focus on commanding, continued monitoring and research. Specific recommendation for alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. The FDA specifically recommends using the methanol test for the USP alcohol monograph for testing isopropyl alcohol. This is all about the practical.